So there has been a big development that has taken place in the Kerala gold probe, where M. Sivasankar, the former principal secretary to the Kerala chief minister, is now in the custody of the enforcement directorate after his bail plea was denied by the Kerala High Court today. This is a big development that is now coming in, where the Kerala High Court had rejected the anticipatory bail plea filed by M. Sivasankar, the former principal secretary to the chief minister, in connection with the gold smuggling case. The court had accepted the arguments that were put forth by the probe agencies, the customs and the enforcement directorate, and had rejected the plea. We are going across to Ashwin for a live update on this. So because Mr. F. Sivasankar was admitted to a hospital there owing to ill health. Now, what is that as we are looking at the latest development where the ED has now taken his custody? Ashwin, the live updates, please.
It's a big breaking update. It's a big breaking update because this arrest, now it has been confirmed that ED has taken M. Sivasankar into custody. Just 15 minutes after the High Court gave his judgment, just 15 minutes after, 200 kilometers away from the High Court, where M. Sivasankar was in a private Ayurveda hospital in Thiruvananthapuram, he was taken into custody in a ED vehicle. He has also been given a summons notice. Now these are big charges leveled against M. Sivasankar, because in the argument which the ASD had done, they had critically said that M. Sivasankar is the key conspirator behind it, and he has got involved in this case, and money laundering charges are also against him. So it's a very massive charges in which Sivasankar has been charge sheeted. It is very clear. So, as they say, the cookie has begun to crumble, and he is the first cookie that has crumbled, and certainly the Kerala government will be embarrassed, and they have lots to answer, because it is the chief minister's right-hand man, a man who has been his trusted aide for many years, who has been very close to him before even he was the chief minister, is somebody who has been taken into custody. M. Sivasankar has been trying to evade arrest. Earlier, he tried to get into a hospital, saying that he had a cardiac issue when he was being apprehended by the customs, and later he was shifted, saying that he has a disc prolapse. Now it has to be very clearly mentioned that M. Sivasankar was undergoing treatment in this particular Ayurveda hospital for a week, but despite all of these defenses which he tried to put, his counsel had very clearly said in the court that M. Sivasankar is being treated as an untouchable, that no hospital is ready to treat him, no hotels are ready to give him accommodation. All these arguments have been completely taken away, because the ED and the customs had given a sealed case to the judge, and it had very critical information. So the judge had reserved his order, and he must have gone through these very critical case files, and after which the judgment has been given, which clearly proves that M. Sivasankar's role in the Kerala gold smuggling scam is likely to be very big. As told by the ASD, he is more likely to be the key conspirator, and Swapna is just a pawn. So money laundering charges, this could prove very costly for the IAS official, because he could be stripped off his IAS post, his benefits of an IAS officer could be stripped off, even his property could be attached. Such grave are the charges which has been leveled by the ED. So as I said, the cookie has begun to crumble. The state government is thoroughly, very clearly embarrassed by the turn of events, and a big win for the central agencies, which has been often asked by the media, why is there a delay in arresting him, and why is there a delay in getting the right people arrested in this Kerala gold smuggling case. Now a big arrest. Now what will happen to M. Sivasankar under custody, because he has not cooperated with the probe, is what ED had said. I want to make it very clear over here. The counsel for M. Sivasankar had said that Sivasankar is cooperating. He has given over 90 hours with the investigating agency. However,
Mr. Gopal Krishnan of the BJP is with us on the phone line. Let's quickly go across to him for a reaction on this, because finally Mr. F. Sivasankar has now been taken into ED custody now, sir, and the arguments that have been put forth in court, because it was being said that if he was granted anticipatory bail, he was influential enough to destroy the potential evidence in the case. How do you look into the latest developments, sir?
Hello. Hello.
Mr. Gopalakrishnan,
Hello.
can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. Have you? Hello.
Sir, how do you look into the latest development, sir? Where ED has now
Hello.
taken Mr. F. Sivasankar into its custody, sir.
Yeah. Mr. Sivasankar has been arrested by ED, and now the left government is facing very serious trouble because Sivasankar was the principal secretary of our Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. And till the day, and until today, the Pinarayi Vijayan tried to safeguard Mr. Sivasankar. And the BJP always called that Sivasankar was the kingpin of this smuggling and the anti-national activity. And Sivasankar utilized Pinarayi Vijayan's office, the Chief Minister office, for the anti-national activity. And even though the CPM and Pinarayi Vijayan, the Chief Minister, trying to safeguard the Sivasankar and all the anti-national culprits. So the BJP strongly condemned this act, and we demanded to resign Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan because he is vicariously liable for the action of his servant, Principal Secretary, Mr. Sivasankar. So he has to resign immediately. This is the basic demand of BJP.
Well, sir, what position does it put the Pinarayi Vijayan government now into? Because you're demanding the resignation of the Chief Minister, but it seems the accused in the case, one by one, has been spilling out the names, and both of them are top leaders of the cabinet of Pinarayi Vijayan government, sir.
Yeah. Pinarayi Vijayan always trying to safeguard Mr. Principal Secretary, and the Pinarayi Vijayan also know all these anti-national activities. You know, the Swapna Suresh, she was appointed by this Principal Secretary with the consent of Pinarayi Vijayan. So this whole anti-national activity and the anti-national people who are working under Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan. So Pinarayi Vijayan is vicariously liable for the action of this whole Principal Secretary and all these anti-national elements. So that is why we are demanding to resignation of Pinarayi Vijayan.